afternoon or good evening, whatever is your choice, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another edition of the Bill Crane Report. My friend Dwayne Weiss is with me, and we're here to really unload all kinds of good stuff on you. Not another word is going to be said. We're going to be off and running. What do you got, partner?
That's a little tidbit. Parents and athletes, school athletes. Do you have any idea how much it costs? I'm sure you do. But to get a kid, what you think's going to get ready to have an athletic scholarship, it's thousands, if not tens of thousands in some of these kids. They're up against competition where these kids are going to these elite camps run by professionals or run by colleges. They travel for hundreds of miles for games. Parents dedicate their whole life to these kids. Right now, the Wall Street Journal had a thing about youth sports. If your kid is a star basketball player, and I don't mean good basketball, I mean a star high school basketball player, probably written up in a paper over and over and over, he's only got 1 in 64 chances of getting any kind of offer from a college. And this is not a big college.
Right.
This is the local.
Sure.
That's it.
Yep. Community college.
And it goes down. You get down to soccer, it's 1 out of 159. Baseball, 1 out of 185. Hockey's 130 to 1. So a lot of kids get a false dream that they're going to pull this up. And I think a lot of kids, it's no longer fun.
It's a grind.
It's a grind, and the parents make it into a job. Well, you're going to do this, you know.
Yeah. Now, we're getting up at 4 o'clock in the morning because we've got to drive to Chicopee.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, for 1 hour of ice time.
Yep.
Yeah, against the Chicopee Mud Hens.
Yeah, right.
And then we'll come back and have breakfast. Yeah, I mean, I had a friend down in Pittsburgh who dropped dead of a heart attack at the age of 40, and he lived for his kids. Mm-hmm. And deck hockey was popular down in Pittsburgh at the time.
Sure what that is.
It's hockey on wood.
Oh, okay, yeah. That's...
Yep. And they play with a reinforced kind of a soft puck.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he said, now tell me something. He says, where's Weymouth, Massachusetts? Yeah. I said, it's on what we call the South Shore. Mm-hmm. How far from your house? I said, I don't know, 35 miles maybe. He says, we're going to be going 2 weekends from now up there for a deck hockey tournament. And he said, my kid is 12 years old or something. He brought the whole family up. They spent like 3 nights in a motel, and the kid played 3 games of deck hockey, and they went home. And I forget, Gary told me, I don't know, a couple of $1,000 when all was said and done.
Oh, yeah, my grandkids, the 2 boys are 9 and 11. It's not unusual for them to go the night before up to well into New Hampshire someplace, stay the night because they got a 7 o'clock game the next morning.
Yeah. You know, that kids' childhood is for enjoyment.
Yeah.
I really don't think it's for regimentation like this.
Some of the parents, they push them so hard.
If I had worked harder, I could have been a professional football player, and you're going to do what I didn't do.
That's part of the problem, is that living by their kids' life through their own eyes. It's tough.
Very tough.
My parents we didn't have the resources to do that, and there wasn't that kind of a thing available when we were there. Yeah. I never knew about a football camp or a basketball camp.
No, we didn't have that when we were kids. We didn't have Little League Baseball.
No.
You know what we used to do? There was vacant lots all over the place.
Exactly.
We'd go, and we'd line up maybe 6 or 8 of us, and we'd play baseball.
Yeah, in the fall we'd play football on that same... Exactly. We had a football, that's all. Maybe 2 kids had a helmet, if that, you know.
Oh, yeah. I know. Things have changed,
I guess they have.
Yeah. And unfortunately, things haven't changed. Springfield, Massachusetts. 14 current and ex-Springfield cops charged in bar brawl.
Saw that. That must have been a hell of a fight.
Yeah, it was a couple of guys. It seems to me that I read in a much larger article that they were minorities. We'll leave it at that. 2 of them. 14 against 2. And the current officers, 6 of the officers previously have been charged with assault and battery. Another 7 current officers, 1 former officer, and a bar manager were charged with misleading investigators, filing false reports, and perjury. What are we to say about something like this? I mean, we expect police officers, we hold them to a higher standard.
Yeah, we do, but not that. There's a certain element out there that is not to that standard. Wasn't, remember years ago with one of the strip clubs up on the North Shore?
Golden Banana.
The Golden Banana, I think it was Revere.
Yep.
And
that was up in Burlington, I think.
Was it?
Yeah.
Well,
the one in Revere was the coachman.
Yeah, that's right. And then the off-duty policeman got in there and they got into a big brawl and that got into a big brouhaha. Yeah, the other one was the Golden Banana was Peabody.
Peabody.
Yep.
That's right.
Not that I know that, folks. It's just somebody I heard the big guys telling about it.
They talk about that kind of thing.
I just saw that in the news again. I think the place is still open or reopened again.
Yeah, I've never been in there. I drove by it plenty of times.
I used to have sales meetings on Friday afternoons. The salesmen. Because I had guys in Maine, there was sort of a place that, and they'd show up. Well, I'll tell you for that one.
We had quarterly sales meetings at Remote Control, and we had them at the best seafood restaurant in Rhode Island. And we'd warm up with about 6 beers first, and then we'd start making our predictions for the next quarter. The owner of the company said, I thought I might come with you guys tonight. Oh, you don't need to come.
You don't need to
come.
No.
Oh, and then he reinforced the thing. Oh, yeah. And his comment the next day was, and this is how you guys make your sales predictions?
Yep.
I says, it is, Dick. I said, and you tell me, look me right in the eye and tell me you had a better method for making them when you were at Grinnell. Well, I'd make them sober. Yeah, right, Dick.
They're still swags.
You got to be kidding me. You say to yourself, look, here's what we did this quarter. We're going to hit our goal this quarter. What do you say we put 15% on it or 20% on it because blah, 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 we're still growing. We have a new product coming out, ta-da-da-da-da-da. That's all it is.
Yep.
But Dick decided he wanted, where's your facts and figures?
Oh, yeah.
I said, where'd you get yours, Dick? I know where. Right up there. Anyway, but that was quite a night.
We used to use the swag method. Scientific wild-ass guess.
Yeah. We had a guy, Julio, that worked for us. Great guy. Great guy. And I'll never forget, one noontime, we took him to Hooters. And this girl kept leaning over the table. She was pretending she was pulling the salt in or something. And she was putting her front right in Julio's face. And we couldn't, he was laughing so hard and spitting. And it was, we had something to kid him about for the next 6 months.
Right.
When are we going to go to Hooters again? I trapped for years, 50 years probably. And it's kind of hard to explain, but I love animals. But there's such a thing as wildlife management. You've got to keep animals within reason. And fur is a natural resource. It's a renewable natural resource. Never really enjoyed killing animals, but was for the whole, much better. It was the right thing to do. I felt trapping, and I still do. I think it's a very, very important tool in managing our wildlife. But I am an animal lover. And this story really makes me mad. A woman found an animal in a carrier under a bench in Charlestown, Mass, in sub-freezing temperatures.
Oh, I did read about that too.
The woman said she heard crying around 5 p.m. Monday at the Sullivan Square station before she discovered the domestic shorthair, now named Marley, in the carrier. The cat was soaked from melting snow because of the salt all around her. Temperatures Monday dipped to 30 degrees. Dipped to 3 degrees.
Oh boy.
With winds up to 29 miles per hour. The woman was homeless, but took the cat to a shelter she was staying at and contacted the Animal Rescue League. And they sent an adoption, the people to pick the cat up. She was wearing a collar but does not have a microchip and does not match any missing animal reports. Now, I got to tell you something, folks. There's a special hot seat in hell for anybody that would do that to a nice little kitty cat or to any other animal. And this picture here of the cat, it's the cutest little cat you ever want to see. I'm a cat person, by the way.
I know. Oh, it's a white one too.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're...
And the cat is alive and well and is going out for adoption. So how about that? The end of the story is good, but what a lousy beginning. Folks,
It's hard to believe what some people can do to
that's
pets.
right. Yep, it is.
It's just, well, even they don't want the cat anymore, so they just, or a puppy or a dog, they just throw them out, just leave them.
Yep.
Yeah, that's,
Here's a lovely story, too. Now, we've got urgent care centers now, sponsored by hospitals or medical groups, and not the same as an emergency room,
yep, okay.
but yet they can do a lot of things
Yeah,
for
they serve a
people,
purpose.
and you just duck in, and if it's a real emergency, whammo, they take you right away. Well, that's great. However, a woman that worked there has become a whistleblower, and they jack up all their fees. I'm not going to bore you with the story, but they have agreed to pay $857,800 in overbilling, and the remainder of the $2 million settlement will be divided between the Rhode Island and the federal government, whatever that means. But this is unbelievable. If you and I stole $857,000, we'd be right down the street behind bars at Norfolk Prison.
Oh, no question about
These
it.
doctors and medical people stealing all of this money, taking advantage of you and I, jacking the rates up, and they get off, they walk, and they're paying back the state over $800,000. They were ordered, or they agreed to pay a combined $2 million to Massachusetts, Rhode Island, and the federal government. Massachusetts is getting $857,800.
Well, you gotta be, it's amazing though what they do today. And folks, you got to be careful. If you happen to have the bad luck to go to a hospital, for example, or even some tests, and your insurance is covering that, you don't know who's going to be working in that hospital on your behalf. And if you get if your insurance covers that says that you have to stay in network, and you get a physician that's out of network, you're going to get one nasty surprise bill. If you go to a hospital and you do have to have blood work, for example, and it goes to a lab and has to be examined by a pathologist, and the pathologist just happens to be not in your network, you might get a $3,000 or $4,000 bill that you didn't expect.
Yeah.
And you'll have a hell of a time getting out of that.
Yeah. But I would say this much, and on advice of professionals, go to a lawyer and contest it.
Yeah.
Don't mess around.
Now that has come to the forefront, and there is some legislation involved now that hospitals are going to have to, before they take on these extra physicians and stuff, they have to agree that they will settle for whatever
Exactly.
whatever it was.
See what this is? Really, it's we want to take care of you in our network.
Yeah.
If you go outside the network, we're going to punish you.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. We're not going to cover you. All right? So you'll be paid an extra 20 or 30% by going out of the network. And that'll show you don't do it again.
Mm-hmm.
That's what this is. It's a penalty. And for heaven's sakes, what is the Hippocratic Oath? What's the first thing they say? Do no harm.
No harm. Yeah.
Yeah. Guess what? Some of them missed that. Now I have a good story.
Okay.
A happy story.
Okay.
And here's a smiling young man.
I
He's
guess
happy.
he is.
He's a teenager. And guess what he's doing?
Something with his
He's
phone.
working at a senior center in Randolph. I think it's a senior center. Well, maybe it is high school or something, but I read the article and I forgot exactly where it is. But anyway, he's working with elders and teaching them how to work a smartphone.
No, that's a good idea.
Isn't that a great idea?
That's a great idea.
Do you know something? I'd buy one of those smartphones if I could be taught how to work the damn thing.
Oh, I know. We
Yeah.
got one. I got an old flip phone. I know how to use that. There's still some stuff I didn't know about.
Yep. Oh, yeah, I know. I like the old flip phones.
And my wife's got I guess they call it a smartphone. Mm-hmm. But we don't know how the hell to get. Somebody tried to show her that, texting and all that stuff. Well, she doesn't use it, so she forgets.
My kids, I swear, could make the state of South Dakota disappear with their stupid smartphone.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. All right.
Wipe it right off the face of the U.S. The things they do. And, Patrick Paul, hey, wait a minute, Dad. Bloop, 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 boop, 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 boop. The answer is 465 zebras were caught last year.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. These things are fantastic. But I won't buy one because...
They don't come with any instructions either.
No.
You're supposed to they assume that you know.
Yeah, guess again.
We got this at Target, and every Monday they could go back from 11 to 1 or something. They had a woman there that would, and she was trying to explain stuff. She went down there for about 4 hours or 6 hours to work on different stuff, but it's so complex.
Oh,
And the logic is so different than you and I think. That's why I think that we have trouble with computers, and the younger kids don't, because they didn't grow up with that certain amount of logic and how you deduct A to B to C to D. They even their math classes are today.
they don't use the divisor sign
No,
anymore. I don't know.
No, my-
But that's just, it's amazing.
My son's got a master's and plus some stuff on beyond it. And he just told his oldest daughter, who was in 8th grade, he said, I can't help you with your math anymore. I don't know what you guys are doing. He said, I don't understand it.
It's unbelievable. Now, here's another beauty. A Holyoke man was arrested Wednesday on charges. He used state public assistant cards, the EBT cards, to buy food that was served in his wife's restaurant.
Yeah, that happens, not necessarily just serving in a restaurant. The abuse of that EBT card is rampant.
This was at the El Rincon Barracuda restaurant in Holyoke. Mm-hmm. And He has got charges including public assistance fraud, money laundering, an electronic fund transfer violation, a government purchasing violation, and larceny over $1,200 by a single scheme.
Yep.
And it goes on to say they looked in his stockroom, and it's all stuff that he bought with the EBT cards.
It's amazing, isn't it? This stuff is so. They thought when this card, they started to get the card, the abuse would go down. It hasn't changed anything. You know,
No, it just changed the faces of the people doing this.
I owe you folks something because a few weeks ago we closed the program and I said I was going to. Our Secretary of State Galvin was lamenting the fact of how to get Massachusetts residents to return a census form. We have one of the lowest response rates in the country. People get them in the mail, they just don't bother sending them back or won't send them back. They just can them, right? I got a solution. Like Bill and I always got solutions.
Yeah, got something.
It's so easy. You make the census card or the census response is your existence in this state. Tie the census response to everything else. Mm-hmm. Your voting registration, your EBT cards. No registration, no census card come back. You don't exist. But take that EBT card out of there. We can take this aid to dependent children away.
And here's a 30-day notice that your driver's license expires.
Because you don't exist.
That's right.
The only thing we've got is that
earth.
census to prove that you exist in this state.
Yep.
Well, do that, and people would return them.
Oh, but that's going to be hard on some people.
Well, yeah, stick it in the mail.
Yeah, really tough.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, here's a story that I'm sure that a lot of people will applaud. Google employed fewer white men in 2018. It's an incremental amount. Mm-hmm. So if this is an incremental shift, is based on ability and experience, no problem.
No problem. But again, we're doing the same thing. We're taking a factor that has no bearing at all on the end use.
But the fact that they're record keeping,
Yeah,
scoring, makes me suspect white men are victims of racism.
Yep, exactly.
Got to get that count down. Mm-hmm. Now it's a marginal choice between laying off 3 guys. Let the white guy go.
Yeah.
Because it's got to look good. White workers remain in the majority, however, at 54% of employees. Asians posted the biggest increase, 1.7, to make up 39.8% of the employees of Google.
Well, that could be considered racist right that way because white people are about 80% of the population.
That's right. Well, they found another plastic-filled whale dead in Italy. 48 pounds of plastic, including disposable dishes, a corrugated tube, shopping bags, and a detergent package with its barcode still visible.
Oh, boy.
Well, here's a story you're going to like. I know that you are not fond of the Baltimore government.
No, I'm not.
The Baltimore ex-police chief got 10 months in jail, Darrell D'Souza, 10 months in prison for failing to file federal tax returns for 3 years.
Did the Baltimore mayor ever come back?
We haven't seen her yet.
She was missing. She was.
Yeah, I think she went in the Marines.
Yeah, maybe. I'm sure she did.
He said it failed to file federal tax returns for 3 years, though his plea deal indicated his tax-related crimes stretched over 2 decades.
Yeah, that's what these guys are.
Yep. Anyway, he also was fined $67,000, of which he still owes $60,000 of it. Prosecutors had requested a 12-month sentence, and they gave him 10.
Well, speaking of leniency, you people in Attleboro better be careful.
Uh-oh.
you've got a judge there that's not your friend. If you're a law-abiding citizen, be careful. She, I believe it's a she, yes, has placed on probation a man who's charged with a stabbing, multiple stabbings. Put him on probation. That's not the end of it, though.
No.
He's also on probation from Fall River for drive-by shooting.
Well, it wasn't with a knife, though.
Oh, no, it was a gun. And he also was charged with another separate in a hit and run. He smashed into somebody's car and just kept on going.
Big brakes failed.
No, she's not even going to charge him with that hit and run.
Oh.
But she dropped the charges. No, she suspended everything. And she put him on a real low probation or real low bail. Because, well, she doesn't like getting people locked up before they have to. He was considered, he had a dangerous hearing, he was considered dangerous, and she let him go on bail. And a low bail, too. Now, this is a guy involved in the stabbing, drive-by shooting, and he didn't kill anybody drive-by because he was a poor shot, apparently, but he wasn't because he didn't want to kill the person. The same with the stabbing person, didn't die.
You know, it is amazing that we cannot remove judges in this state because we refuse to elect them. You know why? Because the politicians, get big contributions from these lawyers who would be judges. Here's a big, nice donation to your re-election campaign, Representative. Can you push me along for a judgeship? Can you talk to the governor for me? Blah, 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 blah. Yeah, the governor wants $350 for his campaign. Okay, here you go. Yep. And before you know it, this guy's a judge.
That's right. And they're
rigorous standards here in Massachusetts.
How could you be deemed a danger to the community and then be let out on some token bail?
Yeah. Well, evidently the ones running these dangerousness hearings are frauds.
It must be.
And they can't be trusted to make a proper judgment.
And you got to wonder, what's the motivation? I know the police are doing it to protect the citizen, but that's got to get frustrating after a while.
Well, you know what?
Taking these guys in and then, boom, they let them go.
Here's the thing. I think there's a whole coterie of judges that say how terrible it must be to be locked up.
That's right.
You know, it's only savages do things to their own people like this. You know, and Jesus said we've got to forgive our brother not 7 times, but 70 times. Or 77. Forget how that goes. So it must be awful to have to sleep in that terrible cell and everything. So let's give him another chance. And then when you say, yes, Judge, that's all well and good, but how about the terrible things he did to the family when he broke into that house and terrorized the wife and the kids?
Yep.
And the husband ended up in the hospital with a broken arm and a fractured skull because you hit him with a damn billy club you were carrying or something. Oh, well, that's the first time he's ever done anything really violent. Maybe he was hungry, or maybe he was under the influence of some drug that somebody gave him and he didn't know what he was taking.
Yeah, that's
They
right.
got these bloody excuses piled up in a book someplace, and they drag out another one for every damn situation that comes up instead of saying, bull. It's a 3-year sentence. Get in the damn cage and lock the door.
I also wonder, the judge here in Attleboro, I don't know which court it is. It's there, but it doesn't matter. Would have had the same philosophy, the same idea, if it was their kid that this guy stabbed in the neck or tried to shoot in a drive-by.
How about if it was his wife that this guy tried to rip a purse out of her hand and stabbed her in the neck and almost killed her?
Yeah.
Well, would that be the same thing?
No, not if it's personal. Then that's all of a sudden it's a different story.
It'd be a totally different story then.
Yeah.
You know what, Dwayne? We've got to go back to pounding the drum about elected judges.
Yes, we do.
I mean, this is ridiculous. This system with these clowns is not working.
Oh, look at they can change society. Not the local judges, but these, like that, was it 9th District, California?
Yes, in California, yeah.
They make rulings that affect the whole damn country. And seriously, too.
The only way that you can change it is to appeal their judgment and take it to the Supreme Court. And you know how long that takes and
Yeah,
how
it's years
expensive
and
it
years and
is.
years.
But you got to do it.
Yeah, you gotta.
Yeah, they got to remove these guys, I'll tell you. High-tech European headlights make roads safer, research finds. So there's another headlight story.
Yeah,
The only thing is that people put the high beams on and they say, oh boy, I can see like crazy, wow.
Yeah,
and
the
they
guy-
never put them on low beam when a car is coming the other way. I've been blinded, probably 2 or 3 times here in the last couple of weeks.
you know, years ago, some cars had automatic dimmers.
The
Little
automatic
electric eye thing up
eye
there that
on
would
yeah.
put them down.
They got them on some cars now.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
a new thing now. But
Yeah.
I did see that some high tech headlights somehow they light down onto the ground and not into the air.
Yes. Yeah.
I'm not sure what it is. I just happen to see that
But
now.
if they make the roads safer,
Yeah.
I'm all for it. By the way, how would you like to buy one of the new Audis or one of the new upscale Infinities or whatever? And instead of a headlight, they got all these little high-intensity LEDs.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
You know, and I was talking, I think it was Kevin Roach. He said, boy, the body men are going to love this.
Oh,
You're going to get a little bump here, and it's going to be $2,900 for a
Yes.
headlight
yeah.
assembly.
Instead of replacing a $30 bulb
Yeah.
and a lens on it. Yeah, you're right.
My God. Applications for jobless benefits, lowest in 50 years. Long-range mortgage rates, 4.17. You know, that is amazing. Now I got a question for you.
Yep, I got one for you too.
Speaker of the Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell said that he is going to push for a national age on tobacco sales.
Yep,
You got to be 21. How do you feel about that?
I don't have a problem with that.
But guys can go in the service and train to kill people and they're 18. We're going to expect them to use their judgment there. You can drink at 18 in some states.
No more.
You can drink on Army post
Army
at
post
18,
again,
yeah. But for 21 before you can smoke, even though they're already smoking anyway. I don't know.
That's the problem.
It's still a legal substance. Maybe they got the right to limit it. I don't know. I never smoked, so I don't know.
I did. It's a terrible addiction.
Yeah.
It's really a strong
I
addiction.
had a friend of mine was a heavy drinker and a heavy smoker.
Yep.
And he said to me, I could quit drinking tomorrow
Oh yeah.
if I
could
had to.
I could have too.
But he said, I could not stop smoking cigarettes. I've tried, I get till noontime.
Yep.
That's
I did too.
Yeah.
I'd start on Monday morning. I knew damn well over the weekend. Sunday night I'd go around and destroy. I'd even go out in the car, take the butts out of the ashtray, because I knew if there was a butt on there this long, I'm going to go out and get it tomorrow morning. That's how it drives you to nonsensical, illogical means. And sure enough, Monday morning I'd get up and I thought, oh my God, I just dreaded that morning because I was going to start going through those withdrawals. And some days I'd wake until 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, down buying a pack of cigarettes. And then I'd smoke the week, and then the Monday morning I'd try again. One day I got through a day, and it fell on the second day. And this thing went on forever. And finally I got through 2 days, 3 days. Once you get through 3, then you can start getting a little bit better. But you never really lose that urge for almost a year.
Really?
you still have pangs of desire.
After a meal,
After a meal.
having a beer in a bar.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And certain triggers would do it. A phone call. I couldn't talk on the phone without a cigarette hanging in my mouth. I get up in the morning and I wore glasses full time. Then I put my glasses on and light a cigarette. That was the routine in the morning.
That was it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I know.
I got
what?
a question for you.
Go ahead.
How would you feel if you called Uber and this beautiful Tesla showed up to pick you up? You open the door, there's no driver. Tesla's looking to start that in 2020.
Yeah, the expert they had on Fox Financial this morning said maybe 2030.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe.
That's what I thought too. You open the door, there's no. I'm not sure
Nobody
I'm getting in
home.
there.
Yeah. Yeah, this thing could run amok and take me to India.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Good.
No, I don't like the sounds of that at all. So let me ask you a question. We got an outbreak of measles.
Yep. Oh yeah. Okay. We do really. That's,
Yep, and it's in New York City, in a heavily Orthodox Jewish community. So, do you
Also,
believe?
it's showing up in parts of Ohio and other places with the Amish.
Yeah, and it's also, I think, out in the West Coast,
Yeah.
there's a little spot too. Now, do you say to those people, bring your kids in because they're going to be done, vaccinated, and no school for them? And if worse comes to worse, we're not going to allow them to leave the house. Because that's what they're doing right now. In New York, they passed a bill.
$1,000.
That said that's it.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that?
How do I feel personally?
Yeah.
I'm one that's pro common good. If it might be religious, it might be some other reason, but if it's for common good, I don't think it should override the common welfare of the rest of the population.
Absolutely right. Yeah, absolutely right. And look, we cannot have a typhoid Mary
That's right.
institute.
And
Institute. Yeah.
substitute measles for something like an Ebola.
Oh yeah.
And well, I'm not vaccinating my kid against Ebola. I don't know if you can or not,
I
but
don't think so,
but a
yeah,
deadly
but-
disease
but,
like
yeah.
that's just going to spread. Should you say, well, because you believe you don't have to, you shouldn't, that you don't have to? Baloney.
Baloney is right.
Yeah.
You're absolutely right. We have laws. We have schools. You want your kid to go to school? Phew. That's it.
The reason that they do that, and I know there's multiple reasons, and sometimes with that Orthodox community, it's religious, and I'm
Oh, it
not
is,
sure
yeah.
what the basis of it is. But you got them, and you got Scientologists, you got
Christian
Christian
Scientists.
Science. That's what I was
Yeah.
trying to think. And then you got the Looney Tunes that don't believe in vaccinations. You got what was his name? Howard Stern's wife there for a while. They believed, that it's preserved, the vaccine's preserved with Tomera. That's causing autism. Well, that's been disproven so many times, but yet there's enough people on that damn internet that believe this.
Of the harm that woman did.
Oh, God.
Along with her ilk.
Yeah, and there's
How
some
many
Hollywood
kids
people that are doing the same
died
thing.
because of it.
Because of that, yeah.
I mean, it is absolutely ridiculous.
In the medical community, there's something called a herd mentality or herd immunity. It's if you got a herd of cattle and they're vaccinated against a certain hoof and mouth disease or some damn thing, and a few of them aren't, they won't get it because the rest of them don't get it because they're vaccinated against. So this herd mentality or herd immunity, these people think, well, it's not that bad because you don't get it. We're not vaccinated. We're not getting it. You're not getting it because it's not prevalent. It's not rampant. Once it gets to a certain point, that spreading factor is just going to overwhelm it.
When someone comes from Europe
Yep.
and infiltrates that Jewish neighborhood,
Well, that's why they think that some
Yeah.
people come back from
That's right.
Israel for
Yeah.
that.
and then it's Katie by the door, they're coming in the windows.
Yep, exactly. And It's not easy to eradicate once that gets out of
No,
control.
and we had it completely
Yeah,
eradicated. That's the damn problem.
It's just
really.
like, these numbnuts in the Mideast, polio was knocked out. Now they won't allow them to be vaccinated against polio, or not. They don't even vaccinate, just to take the vaccine. But it's control. It's, I don't know. It's political. And to let something like that get back into the system.
It's nutcake science is what it is. It's science developed by whack jobs.
Yep.
And you're right. There's a herd mentality. They started all galloping off, saying, "Oh, Dr. Schwartz said it's yeah."
Well, he didn't get it, so it's no big deal.
Yeah, his kids don't have it, so that's the proof right there. Yeah.
In this country, we think of measles as just inconvenience. Well, you probably had measles. I had measles.
I had measles. Yeah.
Yeah, we all had measles when we were kids. but
Chicken. I got everything except whooping cough.
I never had whooping cough either. I had mumps. I remember that.
Right, mumps. German measles, chicken pox.
Yeah.
Yeah, we all got them. And you know what? I can remember my mother saying, so-and-so up the streets, the kids have got chicken pox. Let's go up and visit them. I want you guys to get it.
Yeah, so you get the immunity from
Yeah,
it.
yeah. I mean, we made more sense in those days than we make today.
Well, except they found out now if you had chicken pox, you can get shingles.
Yeah. It's always a little bit of bad with the good.
Yeah, but we didn't know about shingles then.
Yeah, shingles not good, not good. Well, here's a real problem, and I've mentioned this once before, but over in The Hague, in Holland, we have found a Dutch doctor that works at a fertility clinic who used his own sperm to father 49 children.
I commented that in the newspaper. I said to Monica, I said, you know what kind of child support this guy's going to be paying?
I mean, this is so irresponsible.
It's an ego thing, I think.
It is, but can you imagine if we start crossbreeding these kids and they all get the same father?
That's right.
And we're going to have a village of idiots.
That's right.
All inbred. This is ridiculous. Talk about do no harm. A doctor.
Yeah, a doctor. That's the
I'm tall, I'm 6'3", I'm blonde, I'm handsome, I got big muscles. My
Smart,
kids are going to be beautiful.
Perfect, yep.
Yeah, I'm the perfect donor. Give me a break. And a California town is divided. Laguna Beach, California, divided about whether we can have the American flag on their police cars.
Oh, yeah, that's
Yep. Can you imagine that in America?
Oh, yes, I can, because we've gotten so crazy with this stuff.
Freedom of speech.
Yep.
These people are, they think the red, white, and blue design is too aggressive.
Yeah. It's one too many years ago, they were making a fuss out in Amherst, or all the state, because it was the Minutemen, UMass Minutemen.
Yeah.
It's a white man with a gun. Can't have that.
Oh, here's a tragedy. Are you ready for a tragedy?
I'm ready.
Man killed after a gun in his diaper bag goes off.
Yep.
Now, I mean, obviously you've had close calls with that, as I have. I mean, I'm always carrying a gun in a diaper bag.
They were always going off
when
on
the
me,
kids
too. Yep.
when the kids were small,
Yep.
You always tucked a gun in there. Can you imagine what kind of an idiot would do that?
Bill, you cannot underestimate or overestimate the intelligence or underestimate the stupidity of people.
He went to change his daughter's diaper, and the gun went off.
I know where guys have stuck a hammered pistol, in their belt, not knowing that the hammer's going to go back and slam down on a round that's in the chamber.
Do you think that's why they recommend having a empty round?
Oh, I think so, in case you drop the damn thing. Yeah.
Jeez. Stupid. Well, this is a heartwarming story.
Okay.
Harvey Fountain is been jailed and he's being held on $1 million bond. He's charged in over 100 rapes.
Oh yeah, that guy too. There's another one that.
Yeah. This is quite a guy.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he's a beaut.
Yep. And by the way, nice looking guy.
Oh yeah, that's what
Yeah.
I thought too. I said he's a beaut.
Yep. Now friends, we know the courts are clogged up. We know there's a delay in bringing justice to everyone. But there are some cases like this, you don't really need a trial. Just take Harvey out back, take him for a walk down behind the tool shed, and then call the medical examiner.
Yeah. Wouldn't be no great loss.
Boy, I'll tell you, you're absolutely right. The only way it'd be a loss if the bullet ricocheted and knocked out a window of some house or something. Well, here's a tragedy. People at CNN are absolutely aghast. Guess what? The Food Channel now has more viewers on cable than CNN.
Than CNN does. Yeah.
They have more to offer.
I turn them on sometimes, and they have a panel of 6 talking heads, and the idiocy that's coming out. The only worse is MSNBC. They're just total ludicrous.
They're criminals.
Yeah, they're ludicrous.
CNN thinks they're actually a news channel.
I had the solution for the EBT cards and the census form last Sunday. That the 2 columns of pro and a con. It was about giving illegal aliens driver's license.
I got it in here someplace.
I got the answer for that.
Okay.
Easy enough. The one that says they should give them driver's license is a part of a illegal immigrant family. And she's got all the billion reasons why they should be able to drive, and you don't want them driving out there without licenses. And she's got a valid point. I don't want somebody just off the boat or snuck across the border getting in a car. You don't know if they can.
They don't have insurance.
That's right. And if they don't know how to drive, they just get in the car and drive.
Can't read the road signs.
And they know and she's got a good point too. They start using them driver's license for IDs to get other things, to get this, to get that, and pretty soon they've established themselves in the community. The solution is this simple. An undocumented alien, let's use it as undocumented, because when you go to get a driver's license, make sure you call for documentation, who they are. If they don't have it, you give them a driver's license that's got right on, not for identification purposes, for driving only. Give them a restricted license, that's all.
But they have to pass a driver's test.
Well, I mean, actually go through the driving course.
Part of it is reading English and speaking English.
That's right.
This business about people that cannot speak or read English having driver's license is
I'm assuming
madness.
that they meet all the requirements for the driver's license. Driver's ed if need be, the courses and the road test and everything else. But the pro or the con against giving them is they're going to use it for ID. Well, put the damn thing right in bold letters on the top, not for ID purposes, for driving only. You could put undocumented alien on it.
That's right.
Easy.
Oh, yeah, but then if ICE
can't do that.
stops them, yeah.
Oh, well, you're discriminating against them. Well, you're already illegal because you're violating the law to start with. I thought we'd be pretty damn generous giving you the license to start with.
That's a damn good point. I mean, there could be a big X up in the right-hand corner or something, I mean, jeepers creepers. Well,
we give them provisional licenses once in a while. The guy can only drive to and from work.
right.
Or
Yeah, and if work starts at 8, they give them a license that says you can come start at 6, and if work is over at 4:30, 6 to 6.
Yeah.
That way you get enough time to stop the market or something. Well, here's a study of the Journal of Applied Psychology. Showed being funny at work can hurt women and help men. It says that while the results suggest women can't benefit from using humor in the same way their male colleagues do, the goal wasn't to tell women to tone it down. Instead, people should use the report to recognize the prejudice.
I don't know, Will.
at moments like this, you simply cannot fathom where the hell we're going as a country. The researchers avoided humor that could be risky for women. No sardonic jabs, no making fun. They opted for conventional wit that was more light and self-critical. More than 300 participants watched their presentations, rating whether they found the boss functional or disruptive. When the male actor was funny, he was rated as more functional. When the female actor was funny, she was rated as more disruptive. Our tax dollars pay for research, for this stuff. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it's psychobabble, too.
It is.
You know what? If they don't come out with reports like that, how are you going to justify the millions of dollars of funding that they got in the grants?
This is a story. I'm not going to read it, but the subject really teased me off. Hazing suspected in student death. Looks like a combination of alcohol and drug poisoning killed this kid at
Pennsylvania somewhere?
Yeah, upstate New York.
Yeah, upstate New York.
Yeah. Hazing is bullying, by another word.
Yeah, it is. It's extremely dangerous. It's been a lot of deaths over the period of time.
Because they make guys chug a quart of booze.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Or do something
and
stupid.
Die of alcohol poisoning. Or there was one also in the paper. The girl had to, one of the big universities in the Philadelphia area, had to walk up to the bell tower and touch the bell.
Oh, yeah, that was it was kind of a tradition to do that.
Do that as a senior or a junior or something. Mm-hmm. Well, guess what? It was at night. She wasn't supposed to be doing it.
Yeah, that's right.
And
it's closed.
Of course, guess what? Underneath the bell tower is, it's hollow. Mm-hmm. And she fell about 60 feet and she didn't bounce.
No, I guess not.
No. I mean, this stuff is so stupid. And they keep saying, we are eliminating hazing. It is a zero tolerance policy on hazing.
Every year it shows up again.
And yet, if I don't care what college you go to, go out for football practice and you'll see more hazing than you can believe.
That's right.
And yet...
Even in high school on some of the teams.
Sure, of course, yeah. And what do the coaches do? They look the other way. Oh, look, there's a bluebird over there.
They don't want any problems. Huh?
Yeah. And the upperclassmen, I look for them for leadership. And, yeah, right. Man. Here is probably the best news story I have.
Okay.
Study. Give prisoners access to college. Online or written college while they're in jail. They looked at this and they found that this is a very, very good deal. In South Carolina, half the prisoners were eligible for Pell Grants. And it would cost the federal government roughly $5.3 million. But the reduced number of people going back to prison
recidivism rate goes way down.
Would save a projected $1.3 million. That's because prisoners who take part in existing post-secondary education courses while incarcerated are 48% less likely to reoffend.
Yep.
There's part of the damn solution.
Absolutely, and it's a simple solution.
And not only that, but if you have guys in college, in prison, and they are taking college courses, and they realize that this is good and it's helping themselves, they are not going to get in trouble behind bars. They're going to behave themselves and work till the day that they get out. Yep. And hopefully by then they got a leg up on their degree or they have their degree.
Plus they've got a whole new outlook on what life is And when they get out, Louie and Harry that they used to hang around with and get in trouble with doesn't look so good anymore. They look pretty crude. You see, they start seeing them for what they are.
Exactly.
They got a whole different association.
It is unbelievable. I believe. Oh, one more, and then we'll call it quits. Christiana Amanpour on CNN. She is a pip.
Oh, she sure is.
She was interviewing James Comey, the deposed FBI director. She said to him, now, in retrospect, should the hate speech coming out of the Trump campaign be shut down by law and order? He looked right at her and very sternly said, it is not the government's role to shut down free press. That's the beauty of our country. Hooray, Comey. You stood up and you told it like it was. And this is one of the key anchors asking a question like that.
No one putting an assumption into the question.
Exactly.
The hate speech coming out of Washington. You are assuming by asking that question that there is hate speech.
Of course, yeah.
It's like, Bill, you don't beat your wife anymore, do you?
Yeah, when did you stop beating your wife? Yeah. Well, listen, folks. This has been a wonderful get-together again today. I can't tell you how pleased I've been. And I've been watching the cameras up there, the reverse cameras looking into your homes.
Behave
and
tonight.
There's a lot of you paying very close attention. And that's somewhat surprising compared to some past adventures with you.
No food fights, nothing tonight.
So, boys and girls, listen. Go Red Sox, go Bruins, go Celtics, and go to your TV schedule and mark down the next time we're on, because you're not going to want to miss it. And on that note, kabum. Have a great evening or afternoon or whatever it is you plan on doing.
Happy spring.
Bye-bye.